Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, welcome to a little bit more Batty Boffin stuff all about quadratics. Now in earlier videos we multiplied out brackets. We did things like this, something in the brackets, there'd be a number here and a number here, and when we multiplied them out we found it turned into an x squared at the beginning, and then we had a couple of x terms like a 2x and a 3x which we made into a 5x, and then we had a number at the end. In this one general here, a and b are just numbers. And so what we found is that anything that's in this kind of format, x squared plus a number times x plus a number, and the number of course could be a negative thing, we can factorise back into its brackets, and we use these as clues. A and b are the two numbers that go in the brackets, and the a and the b, when we add them, make the number in front of the x, 2 in this case. The a and the b, when we multiply them, make the constant term, the number at the end. So in order to factorise this one, we need a pair of numbers, here and here, that add to make 2 and multiply to make -3. So here I've written out all the combinations that add to make -3. We use this one mainly because there are millions of things that add to make 2. It could be 1 plus 1 or 0 plus 2 or 3 plus -1 or 4 plus -2. There's millions of them. But of these, there aren't very many. In fact, there's only these. To get -3, you either do 1 times -3 or -3 times 1. Please note, they always come in pairs with the negatives the other way round. Even if that were a positive number, if that had been 3, normal 3, you could do 1 times 3 or -1 times -3. Don't forget that second one there. They always come in pairs. So, here we go. We've only got these two possible combinations that will multiply to make -3. One of those will also add to make 2. And it's that one. -1 times -3 is -3. -1 add 3 is 2. So we can fill those in. -1 and add 3. It doesn't matter which order they go in. Just as a quick check, we'll multiply them out. The first 2, the outside 2, the inside 2, and the last 2, which combine to make x squared plus 2x minus 3, which is what we wanted. Okay. Time for you to have a go at one now. Here we've got x squared minus 3x minus 10, and that's going to go into a set of brackets. The first thing to do is to work out what are the things that multiply to make -10. So let's do that now. Pause the video and give me a set of numbers that will multiply to make -10. All the combinations you can think of. We should have these. 1 times -10 or -1 times normal 10. 2 times -5, or the other way round, -2 times 5. Now hopefully some of these should start to jump out at you. 1s and 10s make things like 9s and 11s. You can't make 3 out of 1s and 10s. However, you can make 3 out of 2s and 5s. So we're looking at these here, and we want a -3, so we want that combination. If we'd wanted a +3, it would have been that one. So let's pop those numbers in. What do we say? Add 2 and -5. Now if you could please just multiply that out and verify that it's true. Pause the video and do that now, please. You should have this. The first 2, x squared, the outside 2, minus 5x, the inside 2, 2x, and the last ones, minus 10. And then simplifying that, we end up with x squared minus 5x plus 2x is minus 3x minus 10, which is what we started with. So, go and get yourself a cup of coffee while I wipe down the board and I'll give you some to practice. See you in a minute. Right, here are some for you to have a go at. We've got x squared minus 2x minus 8. So we need two things that add to make negative 2. They also need to multiply to make negative 8. So just set out all the things that multiply to make negative 8, remembering to do those negatives both way round, and pick the ones that make negative 2. Down here, we've got x squared minus 6x plus 5. So again, you need to start off by listing all the things that can multiply to make positive 5. Don't forget to do both ways of the negatives because you need them that add to make negative 6. So, pause the video and have a go with those now. How did you get on? Here we go. To make negative 8, you could use 1 times negative 8, or the other way round, negative 1 times 8. Or you could use 2 times negative 4, or the other way round, negative 2 times 4. Hopefully when you do any of these there won't be too many combinations. If you get something like 24 as your last number, there are a lot of combinations. But just list them out and one of them will work. Generally the ones you get tend to not have too many. 4, 6 at the most usually. Out of these, hopefully something should start jumping out at you. 1s and 8s make things like 7s and 9s. They don't make 2s. However, 2s and 4s are good. We need negative 2. So when you add those ones, you get negative 2. So let's pop them in and then multiply out to check. So we want an x plus 2 and an x minus 4. When we multiply those out, the first two, I think I'll do this in a different colour. I haven't used black for a bit. X times x, x squared. X times negative 4, negative 4x. Inside ones, 2 times x plus 2x, and the last ones, 2 times the negative 4, negative 8. These two bits combine, which gives us x squared, negative 4x's plus 2x's is minus 2x's minus 8, which is what we started with. Okay, and then the second one. We need things that multiply to make 5. Well, there aren't many of those. You can have a 1 times a 5 or a negative 1 times a negative 5. If you didn't write that one down, you might have found this a little bit foxing because, of course, that's the 1. Don't forget the negatives. So we can just pop them in and then multiply out to check. We've got an x minus 1 and an x minus 5. So when we multiply those out, the first two, x times x, x squared. The outside two, we don't want a plus in there, we want a minus, minus 5x. The inside two, minus x. You can write 1x if you want, x is the same thing. And then minus 1 times minus 5 plus, I'm about to write plus 6 then, plus 5. That's a negative 1 times a negative 5 is a positive 5. So all in all, that's x squared minus, and we've got minus 5x minus another x is minus 6x plus 5. There you go. Not bad, is it? See you next time, Batty fans.